What if, for the next 5 months, you stopped doubting yourself? If you stopped holding back, killed your weak habits, and took absolute accountability for every single action? The reality is, most people won't do it. 90% of people will refuse to even consider this level of intensity. David Goggins is the proof that this scale of change is possible. In just 3 months, he went from a hopeless 300-pound man to preparing for one of the toughest endurance challenges on Earth. Applying the 5 core mindsets he used provides the framework to move from crippling self-doubt to high-level capability. When you are losing on every front, waiting for a perfect feeling or a wave of inspiration is a fatal strategic flaw. Goggins started with zero motivation. He treated his own bedroom as an arena, demanding full intensity from himself every single day, because he realized that without a change in action, tomorrow would look identical to today.
Most people quit by day 2 for one simple reason. They expect a flawless start. As this graph shows, when the initial hype fades and physical pain sets in, the failure rate spikes. Your brain labels this initial biological friction as total failure. It prompts a return to old routines because you haven't yet accepted that working outside your comfort zone is supposed to hurt. To counter this, you use the meal-to-meal rule. Instead of looking at a 5-month mountain of effort, you chop the 150-day timeline into repeating 3-hour microblocks. You focus only on surviving the next 3 hours to reach the next meal. By isolating the immediate step, you neutralize the overwhelming nature of the long-term commitment. Maintaining long-term change requires you to lower your daily expectations of comfort and focus strictly on the next hour. Going all in for 150 days is an obsession, and obsession is a social and biological deviation from normal behavior. When Goggins' leg muscles locked up like stone, he spent 10 to 12 hours a day stretching on the floor. It was a process so agonizing it brought him to tears, but he did it every night at 2 a.m. to break through physical limits. Pushing past that level of biological resistance triggers a second wind. It is a state where the mind realizes it can go much further than the body's supposed limits. This level of mental stamina is built in isolation, far past the borders of conventional comfort. As a teenager, Goggins had to scrub his murdered stepfather's dried blood off a garage floor with his bare hands. He later used that specific trauma during Hell Week. While others were breaking, Goggins reminded himself that he survived cleaning up human blood as a child. Freezing water and broken bones were manageable. Instructors try to induce quitting by building a fire and offering hot coffee to freezing cadets. They want you to engage in a cost-benefit analysis of your own suffering. The moment you start a dialogue with an excuse, you have already lost. Hesitation is the first step toward quitting. You kill excuses by establishing a microscopic 20-minute action constraint the second they appear. By telling your brain you are staying with the current task for exactly 20 more minutes, you re-establish executive control over a panicking mind. Strictly controlling your internal narrative converts past trauma and current suffering into fuel for your progression. Bill Brown, one of the toughest men in Goggins' SEAL class, failed his final weapon assembly test by mere seconds, failing right at the finish line after surviving the agony of Hell Week. Brown returned for the very next class and passed. His persistence proves that failure is not a set of circumstances, but a choice to stop. Start your 150-day protocol now. Stop waiting for motivation and enter the arena. Chunk your survival into meals. Embrace total isolation. Weaponize your past. Shut down excuses with 20-minute constraints. This journey ends only when you have undeniably earned your own self-respect.